righty, dudes and dudettes, guess what? We got David Proctor in the house. This man is of the Lost Boys, here where Jacy and I are, in Georgia. This man's a multi-instrumentalist. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. What's going on with you, man?
Not too much. I've been doing a lot of work from home lately. I got both vaccination shots, so
I got you.
So yeah, and working on just this weekend. Been working on writing some new music for the Lost Boys. So
cool.
Oh, sweet.
Sweet. Yeah, man, that Renaissance, I love it, brother.
Yeah, and you know, the whole thing with the band. I mean, we're not to anyone who's concerned about, you know, historical authenticity. we're not a particularly historically authentic band.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the idea behind the band, they got started at the Georgia Renaissance Festival years ago, years before I was in the group. And the idea is that it's the original rock band from 1599. So it's basically a rock band with some Renaissance and Shakespearean flavor added to it. And
Right.
And I myself, I'm one of the two most recent members of the group. We kind of joined at the same time, and I'm what you could call an ascended fan. I knew about the group years ago. I
Gotcha.
went to the Renaissance Festival, saw these guys playing in the teal kilts, and I was like, "That's awesome! These guys are great." And then a few years later, they had a vacancy for a guitarist, and I thought, I'm okay at guitar. I'll do an audition for them, and now I'm in the band. So
Sweet. Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, man.
So, let's see. And you know my wife, right?
yes, I do. You know, met her at some Lost Boys performances. I think both in the audience when I was in the audience and when I was in the band. So, you know, after I joined.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Well, cool. Yeah, I know she's a big fan of you guys. So, yeah, and I've heard one of your albums too. You know, and I really enjoyed you guys.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We try to keep it fun.
I hear you, man. What's your influences, man?
My influences, or my personal influences, or yeah, okay. Well, you know, I grew up in a household where my parents listened to all sorts of different music. You know, some of my earliest memories were like listening to the Star Wars soundtrack and watching Evening at Pops with the Boston Pops with John Williams conducting. So
I got you.
So I was on board with like orchestral music and band music for a long time, and when the time came to join up a school band, I was like, okay, I'm going to play trumpet. And it turns out that I suck at trumpet. and so I eventually moved over to trombone, and I was better at trombone. So I ended up studying music in college. I played trombone in the marching band and trombone choir, orchestra, concert band, all that stuff. So trombone was my main instrument. And when you study trombone, the great thing about trombone is that it's a versatile instrument. You get to play in bands, you get to play in orchestra, you get to play in jazz bands, you get to play in jazz combos. Pretty much any style of music, there's going to be trombones in there. So, you know, so I was listening to the London Symphony, and I was listening to Chicago as well. They both got trombones in them, you know.
Right.
And so that was kind of my main thing. While I was in high school, I was also getting deeper and deeper into classic rock music. I've always been a huge fan of the Beatles. And then I kind of discovered Eric Clapton and Led Zeppelin and Queen. And so, you know, so while I was in high school, I decided I wanted to learn some basic guitar. I started taking some guitar lessons. And my guitar teacher, again, he was a very versatile guy. He was a professional classical guitarist, But our first lesson, when we were finished up, he started playing "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd, and I was like, "Ooh, Pink Floyd, I know that." So, I've had quite a mix of influences, and I've been, I've dabbled in lots of different instruments. I took piano lessons when I was in third grade, but trombone and guitar have been my main things. And when I joined the Lost Boys, I joined because they needed another guitarist, and which was great. And then, we talked about it and said, well, the trombone actually you can trace the trombone back to the Renaissance. They had a form of trombones in the 15 and 1600s. It was the earliest fully chromatic brass instrument.
Sweet.
So I play trombone. Trombone's a Renaissance instrument. We can use it in the band. So,
Sweet.
So we've, on some of our more recent recordings, we've had some trombones in the background. And there's one song we do where I play a trombone solo at the end of the song, and it's
that is very
kind of fun.
cool.
It's kind of a cake influenced song.
I got you.
So it's, kind of funky sounding, but so yeah, those are my influences. They're kind of all over the map.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. It's a buffet.
Oh yeah, I never really thought about how versatile the trombone was. I guess it really is. Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, that's cool, brother. Heck yeah.
You got it close by?
Yeah, I got a couple of my trombones. I don't know if you can see back there. I got my tenor trombone and my bass trombone.
Sweet.
Oh, there's a bass trombone
right next to some other guitars too. So
sweet.
Wow.
Heck yeah, man. I was gonna ask you, brother.
Here, so I can just pick some. Like if I get the urge, I can just pick something up and start practicing. It's much more motivating than like having to take everything out of the case when you want to do something. So.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, dude. Have you heard of Blackmore's Night?
I don't think so.
Man, dude,
Wow.
it's classic rock mixed with Renaissance. I think you would love them, brother.
I gotta write that down. Blackmore's
Night.
Wars.
It's actually the last names of them. So it's Richie Blackmore from Deep Purple.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Blackmore's Nights. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I have heard of them now that I couldn't remember the name, but yeah, I'd heard of the group that Richie Blackmore was doing.
Yeah, and it's his wife, Candace Knight. It's amazing, man. Yeah.
Oh, it'd probably be right up your alley.
Right up your alley.
It's just good stuff in general.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I've heard a little bit of their stuff. I haven't delved too deeply.
I got you.
Into.
I got you, man. I got you.
Well, we love all kinds of music here, but we really like metal.
Yeah.
You have any favorite metal bands?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Metal bands. Let's see. Well, Metallica. Let's see. I guess Metallica is probably the one I'm most into. And of course, now that I'm trying to think of names, I'm just drawing a blank. But yeah, I guess. Well, it's funny because the members of this band didn't consider themselves heavy metal, but I'd say Pink Floyd, not Pink Floyd. I'm sorry, Led Zeppelin.
Okay, I got you.
That's one of my favorite bands, and as far as establishing the standard for heavy,
right,
and getting a big sound out of the group, that's kind of something that I aspire to in some of my material. One thing, I've got some ideas for some stuff I want to do later on this year, kind of mimicking the way they mic the guitars and mic the drums and getting that kind of massive sound out of the band. Yeah, Zeppelin, Metallica.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. What's your favorite Metallica song, brother?
Favorite Metallica song? Let's see. I'd say it's probably a toss-up between Sad But True and Wherever I Roam.
Oh yeah, remember. I got you.
Very good.
Yeah, so you're a Black Album fan. I got you. I got you, brother. Yeah, I got you, brother.
Hey, I know. I love the Black Album the best. It's just that much better than the '80s ones.
Oh, I could disagree, but that's okay. Everyone's different.
We might actually be making a video about that soon.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess it was last year before last, when they had they were doing a theatrical showing of the S&M 2.
Right.
Like I did with San Francisco Symphony, and yeah, I went to the theater to see that one.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool, brother.
But you was talking about like miking up drums and guitar cabs. Are you into audio engineering?
It's something I'm more interested in learning about than what I've actually done.
Okay.
I don't really have much production experience other than putting together demos for the band. But that's the type of thing I've been fascinated with learning about, because it's something that, like, when you're an orchestral musician, it's something that's a factor, is that the performance venue, the performance space in its own way is one of the instruments. You look at orchestras, a lot of orchestras now, they're, custom designing their concert halls to get a specific type of sound that favors the orchestra that's playing in it.
I got you.
You'll say, like, the symphonies in Vienna and Boston and Nashville, they've got these great performance spaces, and the one here in Atlanta, it's not quite so great, and they've been making modifications to try to make it better for the orchestra to sound good. And the same way, when you're recording a group, there's something, it's the room that you've got, it's where you place the mics, it's the number of mics you use. And how, at a lot of places they're like, okay, here's your amp, you put a mic on it, you play, and that's what you got.
Right.
And Jimmy Page's approach was, he's like, no, part of the guitar sound is its resonance in the room. So you put a mic on the amp, then you put a mic several feet away to get that ambient sound, and then you mix those together, and that's where you get this massive guitar sound, and you can manipulate in the studio, beyond just what you're getting out of the speaker. And so that's something I find really fascinating. How the space that the music is happening in affects the music, and affects what the listener hears. And some of his stuff, he put the amp in a really small closet, so you get that kind of dry, closed in sound. In other places, put the amp in a big room so you can get lots of natural reverb. And think about, like, early Van Halen records, where most of that, you got the guitar in one speaker and you got the reverb in another speaker, and that's the only guitar sound, but it sounds like the end of the freaking world, because he's got all the volume and the reverb and all that. It all comes together to make the sound. And so that's something I find really fascinating. It's not just the instrument, but it's where the instrument is. So
right, yeah, cool, man.
So are you guys like working on a new album, and if so, are you doing it yourself or in a studio?
Yeah, we're in the process of putting together a new album. Our most recent album, which was called Paul's Walk, came out in late summer of 2018. And as soon as we were done with that, Matthew Troutwine, the founder of the group, and he's the one who writes most of our material and produces the recordings. Once we were done with that, he said, okay, let's start putting the next one together. And of course, everything kind of went on hold for last year. And so we haven't been able to really get together quite as much.
Exactly.
And so we're working on, right now, we've been spending the past several months just writing stuff, because we haven't been able to get together and rehearse. We haven't been able to do any live performances. So we are in the process of developing new material. And it's like, I got my notebook here and I get ideas for songs and I jot them down. And so I've been going through my archives. Part of my process for a song is I'll come up with a title or a phrase, or I'll hear someone say something and I'll think, ooh, that's good. There needs to be a song about that. And I'll just jot down that combination of words or whatever. And then I'll go back to it and say, go through my list and say, I want to write something. What do I? Oh yeah, that idea seems good, and I'll start to work on that. And sometimes it's I'll work on getting the lyrics down and then try and come up with music that fits it, or the title or the idea will suggest to me this needs to be in this style or that style. So on Paul's Walk, I wrote two of our songs, and one of them was inspired by. Before I was in the Lost Boys, I actually spent several years in U.S. Army bands. I was a military musician. So like when you have military parades or ceremonies, there's a band there in uniform playing the music. I was one of those guys.
Cool.
And I was, and one of the units I was in, I was stationed at Fort Benning for a few years. And everywhere you go at Fort Benning, they would have the motto of the U.S. Infantry, which said, "Follow me." And I had this idea, follow me. There could be a song about that. And so I came up with this song. I said that it should sound kind of like, an 80s, one of those inspirational 80s sing-along type song. So that's where I developed the idea for it. And I, got out my tin whistle and came up with this tin whistle line. So it sounded vaguely Irish. And
I got you. Cool.
We put all these things together into one song. I had another song that I'm a fan of Tolkien's works, like 3/4 of the metal world is. And,
right.
And it's like after I saw the second Hobbit movie, I came up with this idea for a title. I said, ooh, that could be like the closing credit song for the final Hobbit movie. And so I wrote my version of a song for the Hobbit movies. And that's one of the other songs on Paul's Walk now. And if you listen to it, it's referencing Tolkien stuff in the lyrics. So that's kind of how I come up with it. And I got one song that I'm working up, that I worked up. We've rehearsed it a few times, but we haven't recorded it yet. For the Lost Boys. And I came up with this idea for a song. It's about an alchemist and a blacksmith. And it's a heavy metal style song.
Nice.
Alchemy, blacksmith, heavy metal. It all goes together. So
nice.
That's going to be. And the great thing about being in a group like the Lost Boys is because we're not too deep into the historical accuracy. The idea is we can pretty much do any style we want as long as we can figure out a way to make it fit within the theme of the group, so to speak. So,
right.
So a lot of our stuff is Celtic influenced or folk influenced, but we're able to do lots of different styles. And we've got a song that was done a few years before I joined the group. It was based on a funeral dirge from a Shakespeare play, and it's about as metal as anything you can find out there. They're dueling guitars, and it's really loud and heavy. And it's called Fear No More. And it's like this. It's a Shakespeare speech, and it's a heavy metal song.
Nice. Yeah.
And so we've got the ability to do. And because everyone in the group sings, that's another thing. Matthew Troutwine, he puts a lot of emphasis on us being a group that can sing. So everyone in the group sings harmony. Everyone takes lead on different songs. So we can do a cappella stuff that's pretty restrained, and some of it's actually authentic Renaissance music. And then we can turn around and plug everything in, turn it up to 11, and just crank stuff.
Right.
And we'll do all of that type of stuff in the space of a show. And some of our shows we do with electric guitars and amps and all. And then a lot of the stuff we do is more scaled back, like we do at Renaissance festivals, where it's all acoustic, and even with an all acoustics lineup, you can get some pretty heavy stuff. So it's great to be able to have that versatility. So we can do fantasy based songs with electric instruments, and turn around and do take a Robert Burns song or a madrigal or something, and actually pretty much do it the way it was originally done, or combine things. So Paul's Walk, we've got a Robert Burns song called "A Man's a Man for All That," which is a Scottish poem with a Scottish melody, but we're doing it electrified, and so we got a rock version of an old Scottish song, and it works.
Sweet. Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Heck yeah. Cool, man.
You guys are definitely unique.
Yeah.
Especially about how all of you guys sing. I mean, your harmonies are such a big part of your songs.
Yeah.
It really makes you stand out.
Thank you. Yeah, there's something Matthew emphasizes, is that he says we're the type of band, there's particularly with the acoustic setup, there's less focus on instrumental virtuosity, and that's notable because Matthew himself is an excellent guitarist and violinist, and he uses both of those in the group. He also plays mandolin and whatever else. And we've got a fantastic drummer who can also play guitar and bass. Our bass player is an exceptional keyboardist, and one of our other guitarists, we have one female in the Lost Boys, and she's got an incredible singing voice. So and then got me on guitar and trombone and whatnot. So there's we've got the ability to be a really versatile group instrumentally.
Right.
And yet Matthew says, if we play really well and we sing badly, we're going to sound bad.
Right.
If we sing really well,
right,
we're going to sound like a good group no matter what. And having 5 voices gives us a really wide palette to work with. And Matthew himself has an absolutely astounding vocal register. He can sing down on the bass, but he can also go, he can sing as a countertenor. So it's like really, really high falsetto stuff, and he can do that like naturally. It's amazing.
Cool.
So yeah, so we have a lot to work with, but we spend a lot of our rehearsal time working on getting the vocals to really lock in, and it was amazing. Just a couple of years ago, year or two ago, we took some time off because our drummer just had a baby.
Oh, okay.
And so we took a few months after we finished our October show. I think we took a few months to kind of let him and his wife find normal again after the baby was born. And then we started rehearsing again, I think February or March. And we went through one of our a cappella tunes, did a vocal warm-up or something, and everything just locked in again like we had been together a week ago.
Right.
And being able to have that kind of, because this lineup of the band has been together since 2013. Doesn't feel like that long, but when you had a lineup that's been together that long, we really have developed a kind of synergy, and being able to just pick up like we never left is it was an amazing feeling. And it's like we sang through a few lines of this, and when we stopped, we all just kind of looked at each other and said, we still got it, and so I'm really looking forward to when we're able to get in the same room again.
Right.
have that same feeling because I know it's going to be there. And
Sweet.
so, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I'll tell you what, man. Jacy was telling me, Jacy and Mary actually both were saying with you guys, man. Dude, like that, you guys have some super dedicated fans, brother.
Yeah, our fan base is kind of small, but they're
dedicated,
rabid, and possibly every sense of the word. But yeah, and the neat thing about a band like this is that because we got started at a Renaissance festival, which is the type of venue that attracts a lot of colorful characters, and we've got as anyone who's familiar with the band knows, our performing uniform, so to speak, is we all wear teal kilts, and because we've got that color scheme, it's something that's very distinctive. And when fans come to our performances, whether it's a Renaissance fair, whether it's out in the park, whether it's at a venue like Manuel's Tavern or Mad Life in Woodstock, wherever we're playing, fans will show up and they'll be wearing teal. And,
right.
And teal, and it's like, if you're not one of our fans, you're about to be.
I hear you.
And so it's neat having people who really feel like they're really involved with what we do. And we had a thing a few months ago. I guess I'll say it's one of the dangerous things about social media is that sometimes algorithms catch you and you don't know why. And our Facebook page that we had just vanished. And we never got a good answer why. We never got any response from Facebook. They just said, your page violated the algorithm, so your page has been removed. We were never able to get it restored. So we all just, and we set about, saying, hey, just so everyone knows, it's like we're all messaging our friends list and everything. Our Facebook page got removed, and we had all these people. They're like, yes, I sent a complaint. I let Facebook know they need to bring in, so we had all these people who are going to bat for us, and it's really neat to have fans that are that dedicated.
Right.
It didn't make a difference. Facebook never restored our page. So a few months ago, we said, okay, fine, we're just going to start a new page. And so we started it, we formatted it a little differently, and then we sent out a notice, hey, everyone, here's our new page. Please, subscribe, like it, and everything. And so, in a matter of hours, we had hundreds and hundreds of people signing up to our page again to follow our adventures, so to speak. And so it's like I said, we don't have the biggest fan base, but they sure are dedicated, and it's great to have fans like that.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Heck yeah.
Teal Nation is still alive and kicking.
Till that. I hear you.
Now, after we talk today, I want to get some information from you. Make sure I know the links to all of your social media stuff, and where people can listen to your music.
Okay, absolutely.
So that we can put this in the description of the video. So
right. Yeah, I mean, you guys are so unique. You're different, Yeah.
Yeah, and and I'll be sure to give you the links. But we can be found on all our recordings that are currently available, because we've got one that's out of print right now, and he's actually working on remastering it. But we've got our other 4 studio albums are available, as well as our collected quarto, which is a kind of a greatest hits compilation, and it's also got 3 new songs that our current lineup did. It's available on Amazon. You can find us on Spotify, and of course we've got our Facebook page and YouTube channels. So, so you can find us in numerous places out there on the webs.
That's sweet. Heck yeah, man. Dude, I got a question for you, man. You like classical, man. Do you like Yanni?
Yanni, I've heard some of this stuff. I never got real deep into it. You know, I guess his stuff, it's kind of, I'm not sure how I'd describe it, but it's sort of like, it's very much a blend. There's, you know, because a lot of times he uses orchestras and whatnot, and he uses a lot of, I guess, classical music forms, but there's also, you know, a definite pop influence in what he does, and I guess decades from now, people might still be debating how you'd classify a lot of. I guess he's what a lot of people would call classical crossover, and that you know just listening to bits and pieces of it, you might consider it modern classical music, but at the same time, you know, he's got synthesizers or electric guitars or, you know, a modern drum set happening behind that. So and you know, that's the trickiest thing, and that's something we've kind of dealt with, is that you know, people or I guess the industry loves to have a classification. What's you know, what way can we describe this that people instantly know pretty much what it is? You know, if you say something's heavy metal, people know pretty much what heavy metal sounds like. You say it's folk. People know what folk sounds like. If you say this bluegrass, well, that's bluegrass is one thing and country is something else. And and you know, people want to have this classification that we can say this is this and this, and this is what radio station it goes on and whatnot. And there's so much music that just doesn't quite fit that, you know. It's what I was saying earlier. You know, people will say Led Zeppelin's one of the first heavy metal bands, and the guys in Led Zeppelin would say, we weren't heavy metal, we were Led Zeppelin, we were our own thing. And
we debate,
you know, and like a band like ours is how do you class it? Is Renaissance folk rock, you know, singing what do you call it? I don't know. It's, you know, we kind of,
I don't know.
We've kind of distilled it down to Renaissance rock and roll, but you know, but even then, that doesn't quite encapsulate everything that we do, really. So, you know, I'd say Renaissance rock, Shakespearean rock. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
there's a little, you know, any of our recordings, they've all got 5 or 6 different genres easily in there that we all, you know, mash them together. So, and that's the great thing about the internet, is that you can find all sorts of crazy stuff out there that doesn't get radio play, that doesn't necessarily, you know, make it into the mainstream. But there's people out there looking for it, even if they don't know what it is. They hear it and they're like, "That's great, that's fun." You know, these guys put on a great show. You know, why haven't I heard of them before? It's like, well, what radio station is going to risk their alienating their listeners by playing one thing that they haven't heard before?
Exactly. We kind of talked about that with Robert McClung when we talked from Tellergy, and he was talking about that. You know, it's like nobody wants to buy an album that has all kinds of music on it. They like kind of one thing, and then when they're going through Spotify, they're wanting to hear one kind of song, you know. And he's just like, I can't guarantee that in my songs, you know. They're going to be one thing.
Exactly.
Now I'm paraphrasing him, of course, but
It's a musical buffet, is what it is.
No, it's like Zeppelin. They did their third album. They started it with "Immigrant Song," which is like one of the heaviest, hardest, rockinest songs ever, and the whole second half of the album, it's all acoustic. And people said, "What is Zeppelin doing?" And we're just like, "This is the music we're making right now." You know,
I
next
hear
album is different. So
I hear you, brother. All right, man. We can change it up a little bit, brother. What is your favorite food, man?
My favorite food? Pancakes.
Pancakes. Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Said
All
it
right.
so quick.
Yeah, so
Coating of butter, drowning in 100% pure maple syrup.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong
Now
with
you're talking about the real maple syrup, right?
Real maple syrup.
it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, none of the corn, none of the corn syrup.
Yeah.
No, out of the tree onto my plate.
Right. Exactly.
Man, that's a
With
unique
bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a breakfast man right here.
I'll eat it 3 meals a day.
So do you eat them together or you like them apart? Because like me, I would just put them on the pancakes, pour the bacon syrup over the bacon and everything.
I don't know. I usually I'm one of those people, like, I'll eat everything on the plate, at a time. Like, I'll eat all the pancakes, then all the eggs, then all the bacon, but it's all going the same place anyways.
Right.
Syrup makes everything better. So
I hear you, man. Well, what's your favorite drink to wash it down with, my brother?
Favorite drink to wash it down. Let's see. Good. I like my coffee. I like my coffee like I like my medieval plagues, black.
I got you.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah, I got you. I hear you, brother.
Well, I'm pretty simple. I love spaghetti. I could eat it every day.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And what have we established as yours?
Chinese food's mine by far.
Pretty
Nice.
Yeah.
Pancakes are sweet,
Oh, I like pancakes too.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm going to give you a chance to see something brand new.
Oh,
yeah. This is actually a project I put together earlier, just a few days ago, actually, and with the tragic passing of Edward Van Halen earlier this year, I decided I've done a couple of guitar build projects, and I thought it'd be good to do something in the spirit of Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstrat, but suitable for use, with the Lost Boys. And given our teal color scheme, I present to you.
Oh, look at you over here.
The Lost Boys.
Sweet.
That is sweet.
Frankenstrat.
I want it.
So, and
that's cool, man.
right, and this is the standard Frankenstrat setup. It's got the single humbucker and the Floyd Rose. So let's try something here.
Cool, man. Sweet, dude. Yeah, that's a sweet guitar right there, brother.
Thank you. I'm really proud of how it turned out, and
yeah,
I like to think that the Dutch master himself would have appreciated that. But I figure, you can go to a store and buy one, but there's just something about doing a project and screwing it together yourself, and hat tip to the repair guy at Sam Ash who cleaned up some of my original botched soldering. So
I hear you.
Yeah,
Sweet, man.
Oh, it's even missing the back cover.
do what?
It's even missing the back cover like the Frankenstrat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
Nice. Cool.
Nice.
well, maybe one of these days I'll get one. But
Cool, man. Sweet, brother. David, dude, man, thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you,
Absolutely.
man.
It's been a pleasure.
Awesome, brother. Awesome, man. Take it easy, my friend. Thank you again. Thank you, man.
Well, thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too, brother. All right, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, feel the teal.
That's it. There it is.
Feel the teal. I
There
like
it is. Take care, dude.
Have a good one.
The Henry-Kern Show would like to thank our friends. Kruse Effects. Slip Trick Records. Pick World Guitar Picks.
And of course, Nebulous Music Studios in Royston, Georgia.